Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel on this beautiful, what's today? Monday? Yes, today is Monday. It's almost 4 p.m. here Pacific time. Tonight is Monday Night Football, so I can't wait. I think it starts at 5 and it's the Raiders. I think it's here in Vegas. I'm not in Las Vegas, I'm in Long Beach, but Vegas is West Coast, so it should be 5 o'clock our time, 5:05 or 5:30 or so. So can't wait. Big Raiders fan. How are you, my dear friend? How's it going? How are you doing? How was your weekend? What did you do? Did you do your laundry? And did you go out to eat? Did you watch a lot of TV and Netflix and Facebook? How are you doing? Leave me a comment, by the way. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you're up to. You can see the chat right there on the screen. So thank you again for being here. Over 200. David, my man. Yes. Welcome back. Over 200. I don't know if that comment is from last week or if it's from this week. Either way, welcome. Welcome back. Let's see. Welcome back. I think you can see that right there. So welcome back to my channel, everybody. Thank you always for being here. So let's see. Yeah, talking about how to redo this new normal. I guess talking a little bit about just some of the things that I've been dealing with and learning about and all that stuff. Just how to redo our lives. It seems like there's so much that is just so different these days. And I was just talking to a friend. She cleans her home, but she's a friend of our family. And we're just talking about the same stuff, how everyone's going through the same things. She had to let go of her one business. She's still cleaning homes as her second business. She has 3 small kids. Church, not going to church because of everything changing, etc. How every church is struggling, etc. And she said something that I thought was very true. She said, well, church is really between us and God. And I think that that is kind of what it's come down to these days, at least in terms of church. Obviously, we know that community is very important and a big part of our lives as social humans, as social beings. But everything is so different. You can't just simply say, okay, let's just do what we normally would do. Nothing is the same, and it doesn't seem to be really changing much. How do we then do this new normal, or how do we denormalize life? How do we, I guess, wean ourselves off of what used to be? These are the things that I'm thinking about a lot because, I mean, my life used to be awesome, I would say, up until this last year. It's still awesome. I think most of us would say that, right? That our lives are still amazing. But the Great ReNorming, meaning moving through or moving forward, is challenging. I think, like many of us, I have felt just like you can't quite get ahead of yourself with regards to anxiety and achieving. I have, like many of us, dealt with just not knowing which way is up. My brain fog, my anxiety over things. Right now I'm unemployed, and yet I'm fine. I feel at peace. We have a financial plan going on, and I'm starting a few things, and also just decompressing and renormalizing income and life and career. A lot of things are not as they used to be. Just like my friend was saying, her business went belly up. They let it go. I think it was a juice making business. And you would think, right, that would be awesome. I was at a place, at a church that I really loved, and things were going well in some ways and not so well in other ways. It's just how it is right now, right? Now, what is working today? Let's say in my life. Well, what isn't giving me anxiety? Music production, podcasting. And now these are not things that are making me money, but these are things that I enjoy. And so you always hear about, if you had $1 million, what would you do? Well, I would probably do a lot of the things that I am doing, or that I was doing. Teaching the Bible, coaching people in terms of anxiety. I really do love to help people in that. Music, production, and this. I love doing these podcasts and live streams. And so I'm trying to keep that mindset. I just picked up a book that I have over there on my nightstand. I haven't read it yet. I just got it yesterday, called The Body Has No Memory, or The Body Has a Memory. I'm sure it's The Body Has a Memory. Because obviously we know that the body remembers all that it goes through. And so a question that book, I just began to read it, asks, and similar books that I've read on trauma and this whole pandemic, is where do you feel the anxiety normally? Where in your body does it tend to center? For me, it's in right here in this area, the solar plexus, I think that's what it's called, right? Solar plexus. I think that's what it's called, the third chakra, right here in the quote stomach of, or the mouth of your stomach. So that's normally where people feel fear, anxiety. Sometimes I feel it here in my shoulders when I begin to freak out in my mind about money or people's opinions or whatever. Normally I feel it here. My wife, she gets headaches sometimes, these optical migraines. Other people, I have heard they sweat, their hands sweat a lot. Some people, it's not a physical maybe reaction, but it's more they do crazy things. They go out and drink all night or sleep around or kind of act out of character for themselves. Other people get mad, kind of a short fuse kind of thing. So you have to know yourself, kind of where is your body speaking and what is it saying? I think for all of us, it's saying that this is overwhelming, that there's something really overwhelming happening, something wrong. And I think we all know that. And I'm not really necessarily always here to give tips and advice. I think those are important, obviously, but I would say that my greatest contribution to this space is to simply just open up a forum, just to simply say, this is me. No matter how Christian or not you are, no matter how many verses or songs you sing, no matter how you should know better by now, this is just what's happening. The lady who cleans my house, me, you, my wife. And it isn't always just about a pandemic or about finances. It's like in her case, it's about her parents, aging parents that are going through some really significant health scares. And her mom literally passed away just a few weeks ago. For other friends, it's about being in their late 20s and not having any direction in life. For others, it's maybe even being younger in their early 20s and feeling overwhelmed. So you have people at all ages. Obviously, for those of us at midlife, it's about what the heck now? What do I do now? So you have all kinds of feelings and reactions, trauma that is expressing itself, and it's just starting. It's just beginning. And so we have to, I think, just normalize that. As I named this thing, as defining the ReNormal. I was listening to my father-in-law. We're talking about churches, being that that's my world, a big part of my world. And he was talking about the 30-20-30 rule, or maybe it's a 30-30-30 rule. 30%, I think this can apply to people, families, organizations, maybe to you and me. 30% of people or churches are wanting to go back. I think I was at a church that was their intention. Can we just go back to how things used to be? 30% are dying or lost, just they're probably going away. And 30% are moving ahead, trying to figure things out in a different way, renormalizing things. So you could say that is where maybe a lot of us find ourselves. I would say in terms of anxiety and fear and achieving. I was talking to my friend Kirk today through texting, and I was saying, hey, Kirk, why don't we start a podcast? And he's saying, well, yeah, after your 6-month sabbatical. And I'm like, oh, man, that's right, huh? I'm supposed to be, and I am, on this 6-month sabbatical, which sounds amazing, but it really, financially, it's not amazing. And second, in terms of sitting on my hands, it's not comfortable at all. I'd rather be anxiously achieving And I have done a few things to try to get some money, but I haven't gone off the deep end like I normally would, or like I want to, looking for a million things to do and worrying and being even more anxious. Instead, I've been just kind of more in my body, grieving, talking, not overdoing things. Today, I had a great day. I spent all day with the IRS, PayPal, and a mechanic. How's that for a day? Ghost bill right there. None of which garnished me much income or success. We actually owe the IRS some money based on blah, blah, blah. Not a lot, a couple $100. But they owe us thousands of dollars. But for that all to work itself out, I have to do more calling. And then I was the victim of some online fraud or online scam, I guess. So PayPal is giving me the workaround with that. Then my car is having some problems, and they want to charge me $2,000. Blah blah blah. The point is, that's just what I did today, and yet it felt normal. It felt good to actually. Oh yeah, and my speed bag I wanted to work out because it fell or broke. It actually broke pretty good, and I thought I could just fix it and tighten up this and that, but no. So I had to buy a new this and that, and hopefully tomorrow I'll get it to work. So you know how it is, right? But last night, or yesterday, I guess, most of the afternoon, I spent time with an amazing new artist who sings like Whitney Houston meets Toni Braxton. Just an amazing, gifted worshiper and vocalist. And we wrote a song last night. I forget the name of it. She did all the lyrics and the melody. I wrote the chords and the production part, and just beautiful. Can't wait for you to hear it. I'm in the middle of still producing, tracking, and mixing, but I can't wait for you to hear it. That brought me a lot of joy. No income per se. It's not about that. But it did bring me a lot of joy. And who knows? God could open doors in that area. And so the renormalizing of life is happening all around us. How are you renormalizing? What does that look like to you in your life? How are you being forced to renormalize? Now, what does that mean, renormalizing? Well, kind of like those statistics that I was giving you. It's going back. Some people are renormalizing by running as fast as possible to how things used to be. And I don't know, good luck with that. I guess that can maybe last another year or two. Some people are just giving in to the despair, dying, you could say, maybe suffering under the rubble of, and there's no shame in that. This is a pretty difficult season. And I hope that you can find some help or coaching. I offer coaching, by the way. You can go to davidtrigger.com, the link at the bottom of this video.com/coaching. It's only a $49 a month coaching program where you get time with me as well as videos to help you along your process. And then 30% of people are moving through this. I would say my wife is in that 30%. I would say I'm probably in the middle, 30%. Kind of like, what's going on? Like, this is pretty tough. But there are people that are in the other 30% that are moving through it and that are doing better, perhaps, than expected. And so that's a wonderful thing. But you have to know where you are so you can assess and lick your wounds, or lick your wounds, and just sort of keep moving forward. We're getting a puppy or not sure yet. We'll see. So stay tuned. We're going to give you more details on this puppy that we're hoping to get over the next few days. We're trying to debate what should we do, because we have Daisy and she can be aggressive with little dogs. And so we're seeing if we need some training or a dog trainer or that kind of thing. So, but I was listening to a podcast earlier today called the Highly Anxious or Highly Achieving podcast. And the lady, who is amazing, an amazing host and presenter, she was talking about how for church leaders in business, and for most of us, we have a hard time saying, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, I'm worried. And how really damaging that can be for us to not be open about how we're doing. And that's why I kind of got interested in talking here today in this podcast, just about what anxiety looks like today for me, and maybe hopefully give you kind of a safe place or a safe space to talk about how you are processing that anxiety. Anxiety doesn't always show up as fear or as sweaty palms or as being home depressed. It might, but it can also express itself as in overdoing it, overworking, maybe crossing lines it shouldn't cross, maybe immoral or just sexual behavior that you think, who did that? Why did that happen? Obviously, the typical stuff of porn and drinking and maybe illicit relationships, homosexuality, or who knows. You then, of course, have the more maybe acceptable or accepted behaviors such as overworking, workaholism, anger, violence. Maybe you're standing up for a cause, but you're doing it a little bit too aggressively. It could be that the violence, domestic violence, isn't something that you're going to call the cops for, but it might be that you're being aggressive towards your sister, your mom, your brothers, your siblings. So you have a lot of ways in which anxiety, depression, fear is showing up, anger, shame. And so the first step is to just know. To thyself be true, said Aristotle, I believe, right? So to be true to yourself, just to be self-aware and say, I have a problem. I can't overcome this. I can't do this alone. I need a coach, a therapist, a friend, a spiritual director, a pastor, a leader. I need my mom. I need my friends to support me. I need to watch some videos. I need to work out. I need to eat healthier. All the things that I am thinking about every day. My anxiety, I think, was maybe at its worst, maybe last fall. So about a year ago these days. So maybe last June, July, August, September, when things were so bad. And I think it's been the best that it's been since the vaccine. I think we got that in April or May of this year. So, and then of course, I lost my job and my wife went through a major loss also of her job, as well as her parents, her mom who passed away and her dad who's been dealing with cancer the last couple of years. So it's been quite a summer for us, personally as well as the family. That's why we're looking forward to this little dog. I don't know what we're going to name him. Oreo? I'm not sure yet if we're going to actually get him, but I think we are. It's worth the joy that it could bring to us. Yeah, this and that could happen, but isn't that life? I was telling one of our daughters who was concerned about what happens if this, if that, what if we have to return her? And I said to her, my love, my beautiful girl, life is filled with risk and with wins and losses, but it can't prevent us from looking for joy. And having this beautiful dog, this puppy, who's 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old? Yeah, he's going to cry, he's going to pee everywhere, and he's going to make a mess, and maybe, he and our dog, who we love, Daisy, might not get along. And we may have to return this dog. We may have to find another home for this puppy. But that's the risk we are willing to take, because if nothing like that happens, if everything works out well, then the upside is we have 2 beautiful dogs and a bunny. Gosabella right there, which are all fun. By the way, speaking of that, does my mariachi work? I think it does. Huh? There you go. And then I think there's a football game, so here we go. That's more of a soccer game, but boxing. Wake up, everybody. Little pixie dust, and back to my quinceañera mariachis. I've been going to bed late. Last night, I went to bed late. I went to bed more like at 2, but then I fell asleep on the couch, and then it was 4 a.m. by the time I finally came into bed with my beautiful wife. But it wasn't a bad night. I am tired now, mostly because I haven't eaten anything. I've had, I think, a power bar and some water all day. We had the cleaning lady here, and it was great. She's a friend of mine, and her husband, they both clean the house once a month, and for $500, and they're just amazing. They really are a beautiful couple. We love them, and so it was fun just to hang out with them. I mostly talked to him a lot today. I kind of talked to her a little bit more than usual. he was kind of busy running around, but they had to pick up their kids at 3:30, so that's why they left a little earlier than usual. Man, they clean for like 6, 8 hours when they're here. That's pretty amazing. And we have 5 bedrooms, 2 stories, blah, blah, blah. They do an amazing job, and they're good friends, as I said, and we love them dearly. I used to teach their daughter give her voice lessons, because she's really amazing. And so maybe we'll do that again sometime soon. Be fun. I've been doing more of that, working, not so much voice lessons, even though I love that, and I did do that this summer as well. But as I mentioned, I've been working more with rappers and R&B singers, vocalists, just to produce their music. It doesn't create any income at this point, but I'm hoping that if something great happens with them, then we'll all grow together. As well as producing and distributing and putting out there my own music. So you can go to Spotify and Apple Music and type in my name, and you'll see. I think I just released 3 singles in the last couple of weeks, so you can check them out. 2 in English and 1 in Espanol. Speaking of, I don't have my hat today because my friend who's my AP accountability partner told me to not stream for 6 months as part of my sabbatical. So, Kurt, I am here but not wearing the hat. I think this realigning, this renormalizing is really important for us to discuss. And I'd love to hear your comments on what you're noticing. How are you or people around you, people that you love and trust, how are they renormalizing? Are people stuck in the past or wanting to go back to the past? A lot of people are doing that. Are they kind of dead, meaning they don't have any feelings or thoughts? They're just kind of stagnant and not doing too well. Or are you in the third group, the 30% that is like my wife, that is moving through this fairly well? All 3 are acceptable, and we go back and forth from all 3. Sometimes I'm in the first group, second, third, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3. There is no rhyme or reason. It's just how things are right now. Sometimes I think I'm losing my mind. Other times I feel like I'm amazing. Sometimes I think I'm the most gifted musician and leader, and sometimes I think I suck. It's just how it is. And that's okay. And I think that, as I said, my hope with this show and this stream here, this platform, is to provide a safe place for you, especially if you're someone of faith, that often we are somehow, not younger people as much, but definitely older people, definitely told to suck it up, buttercup, and just pray and thank God and have perspective. Reality is, no matter how young or old you are, we all lose perspective, because this thing is a BIT, you know what I mean, right? It's a monster. And we can't just fix it with prayer and fasting, as I say, even though the verse says that is how things normally get fixed. But I feel like this one isn't fixed with prayer and fasting. It's not really fixable. It's more of something that we have to just talk about and be open and honest about. And I think that would actually heal us more than anything. Imagine if at my church, instead of the problems that we face, imagine if we had been able to just be honest about our feelings, not about church, but about life. I think it would have done so much good to the people that we serve. Imagine if at your work, maybe you work at Best Buy, or you work online, or you stream. Imagine if you were able to talk to your chat about real things, not about things that make you money or popular. Imagine if we had a world that normal was to be open and to heal. And I have tools and Bible studies, and I was just actually printing some certificates of appreciation and of completion and participation for a class that I taught over the last 16 months called Freedom in Christ, or actually it was called Life Changers. And it deals with having freedom in Christ, but not just like church stuff, but like freedom from these things that we're facing. And I don't know if it's about freedom, but it's about at least being in the process. Oh, Daisy the dog is out there, speaking of dogs. And it was so successful. And it was, hello, Daisy. It was so great to actually just go through that process with, I think we had maybe 6 or 7 people over the last 16 months or so. Very powerful. The Amazon guy must be there, or a squirrel. Very, very good stuff. So I hope that these ramblings, these thoughts can create at least a safe place for you, and that you can feel normalized in. Excuse me, really quick. I may have to, let's see here. I may have to do something really. Okay. I hope that this safe place can create, or that this forum can create a safe place for you and I to talk, for you and your friends to talk about some of these tools and some of these concepts: vulnerability, the 30-30-30 rule, just this idea of creating safe environments for healing, for conversation, not for fixing or spiritualizing or spiritual bypassing or ghosting or what do they call that? Gas lamping. I don't even know what that one means. I've looked it up a bunch of times and I still don't quite get what gas lamping means. Leave a comment below if you know what it means. It's like gain staging. I just learned about gain staging yesterday, and it sounds like something I should be doing. I think I will. Well, thank you again for being here. With all that said, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.